Hey everyone, welcome to day 2 of the Peace in Chaos Challenge. I hope day 1 went well for you and that you have found your why and that you were able to spend some time doing that because we are going to be building every single day on the things that we do the previous day. So if you haven't done day 1, go do day 1 and then come back to day 2 because today is going to be more mindset as well as some actions you are going to take to build the mindset that I want you to have. So if you don't have your why, if you don't have your purpose, it's going to get harder and harder. So that's why I say do day 1 and then 2, go in order. Please don't skip because it definitely builds on itself. Okay. By now, you've probably heard me say joy so many times, but get used to it because I'm going to keep using it because that is fundamental to how you're going to find that peace. Okay. I'm going to keep coming back to it because it really is mindset and perspective. There are so many good and amazing things happening around you. You just have to have the eyes to see it. I know you might think there's so much crap going on. There is everything that is on my plate. There's so much good that we can focus on. Human nature is to focus on the bad, all the things that aren't going right, all the things that happen to us that shouldn't have or that we didn't expect it to. But there are also amazing things that we don't focus on and don't notice or we take for granted. I'm going to give you a few examples of things that we might do or things that we might focus on. Number 1, my kids love sports, but I have to take them to all those practices, and I just don't have time to do any of this. Second one might be I'm going to Hawaii, but now I have to plan it because nobody else does this. Number 3, I want $1 million, but now I have to pay taxes, and there's going to be people coming out of the woodwork to get a piece of this. Do you hear all the have tos? And I've heard parenting people say over the years, because I've listened to a lot of parenting things, to change those have tos to get tos. And I've thought to myself, and maybe you thought this too, ugh, that sounds nice, but that is so difficult to do, especially as a working mom, and my time is just so crunched. But seriously, just sit with it for a minute with me. Okay. So, in the first case, the kid loves sports. Isn't it amazing that your kid loves to do something? The kid has a hobby, they're learning new skills. You have the means to pay for those lessons or whatever it might be. And you get to watch them learn new skills and new people skills as they're building and being part of a team. Even if it's that crazy toddler is chasing random things and running the opposite way and all of that, it's pretty cute. And it's kind of funny too, because your kids are learning every step of the way and you get to see that. How about the second one? Isn't it amazing that you get to go on vacation to Hawaii, which is absolutely beautiful? You have the means to pay for it again, and you get to choose what you and whoever you're going with get to do. Because if they complain about it later, you can say, you can plan it next time, but I did it, so I get to choose. It's pretty cool, right? I know where I'm going. And come on, $1 million, just stop. Just stop. It's free money, even if a lot of it goes away to taxes, which it does. I know you might be thinking, Amy, those are crazy exaggerations, but you get the idea. You get that we do this every stinking day. I do too. I still do. And I have to shift my focus Because, like I said before, human nature is to go focus on those things that did not meet our expectations. We don't see all the amazing things, but when you do, that joy, builds joy. It compounds. When you see one joy a day, you see two, three, four, and it just grows from there. So that's the first thing that I am going to have you do each day of this challenge. I want you to find one joy. I'm not asking you to find a ton, just one. Do you think you can find one thing that makes you smile, that makes you laugh, that makes your heart just warm? I know I can. I hope you can too. But if you can't, that's okay too, because there is something to notice there. If you cannot think of a joy from that day, I want you to sit and I want you to think about where your attention is focused. Is it how someone treated you at the grocery store? Is it how you have so many things for work that you don't know how you're going to get them done? Where is your attention? Where are you focused? Because there is something to be said if you cannot find one thing to bring a smile to your face. So I am doing this uh, project for myself. I keep adding projects for myself, right? But I was inspired by some friends that shared about this book called A Year of Delights, I think it was called. But I loved the idea of seeing your year in different little moments of joy. And I had mentioned this yesterday that my YouTube channel was originally called Flashes of Joy because this had resonated with me, right? So when I heard about this book, I said, that sounds amazing. And I put that project on myself because I know looking forward to this year, I know I have some big decisions, some big choices, some big things coming up. I'm also turning 40 next year. And so I just thought these are all lining up perfectly for me to do this project. And maybe I'll make it into a book. Who knows? But let me know if you'd buy that book. Um, but I loved the idea. And so I have started doing that where I chronicle just one joy a day and I write about it. And it doesn't have to be long. It can be a short snippet, a short story, whatever you want to call it, however long you want to make it. It can even just be jotting down a thing. If you just want to start with jotting down that thing that made you smile or laugh or whatever, write it down. If you want to join this daily joy chronicling with me, drop daily joy in the comments or in the group because I would love to do this with you. And if you join my membership group, we're going to be doing this together because I focus on joy. That is who I am, right? That is what I'm going to teach you to do. So if you join the membership, you're definitely going to be practicing this with me. And I'll share more about that stuff and my irresistible offer that is going to be coming later this week because I'm building it as we speak. But if you want to do that with me, I would love to have you in community, right? Makes everything better. So that's the first thing that I want to talk about today is notice joy and notice where your attention is. If there are not things that you find joyful, just noticing is a huge part of this. So second thing I'm going to talk about is me time. How many of you have me time scheduled in? It's okay if you don't. Most of us are probably in that camp. But I just want to tell you that it is not negotiable. It is not a luxury. It's a necessity. Find the time. And finding the time might be one thing, but I challenge you to think about what is that thing or things that you want to do. What are those things? If you had time for yourself, what would you do? Dream about it. All the things that you've been putting away because you told yourself you don't have time, or you feel guilty being gone for that time, or you feel guilty asking for time for yourself. Whatever your hurdles, stop putting yourself last. When you ditch that time for yourself, you can get stressed and explode, you can be resentful, or just disconnect and isolate. And it helps nobody when you are ramming those dishes into the dishwasher passive aggressively. You know what I'm talking about? Or someone asks you to do something and you're just like, fine, I'll do it. That does not breed joy in the home or a let's do this together mentality, right? It serves nobody. And as you take time this week to find me time, as little as 10 minutes, it can be 10 minutes, it can be hours, but you'll notice that once you start taking time to fill your own cup, to take that time for yourself to recharge, your capacity to serve others and be joyful towards others increases significantly. So when I say it's not a luxury, it's because it's not. It helps you come back better for others. And I think they will start noticing it real quick too. So I want you to think about what those things would be and carve out the time. For me, these things look different every day. Sometimes it is short chunks. So this last month, I have been doing calligraphy practice because I want to learn how to do calligraphy. I started it before and then just kind of put it off in the pandemic and all of that. But just 10 minutes, 10 minutes a day I give myself, and sometimes a little more if I want to do a little more practice because the drills that day were hard. But I sit and I do it, and there's something calming about it. And the other day, one of my kids came and got a book and sat next to me. He asked a few times, "Oh, are you still doing it? When are you going to be done?" That's fine. I just told him, "I need a few more minutes. I just want to finish this stuff, and then we can go do whatever." But because I have done this several times, he still comes and asks me sometimes, right? But he respects that time that I have set out for myself because he knows that then I will come back better and be able to play that game with a more joyful manner than, "I can't believe you interrupted me and pulled me away for this game," or whatever bad attitude we can have, right? They notice those things so fast and they will respect your time. And we will come back to this on day 4 of how to get other people on board. So stay tuned. We're taking this piece by piece, right? I don't want to overwhelm you. So today is about thinking about what that me time stuff is and planning it out. So for me, another thing that I do that is different, I do this on the weekend because it takes more time, is I like to go rock climbing. That is my girl time with some fabulous friends of mine where I get to go exercise. I get to have that adult girl time and challenge myself, mind and body in a different way. And so I've come to love rock climbing. I've talked about it. I'm sure if you follow me in different places that you've seen me talk about it. But that is depending on how many people I go with, whether I go with one, two, um, and if I sauna afterwards and things like that, I could be gone for 3 hours. And so it definitely takes getting your family on board. And I have been blessed enough that my husband is ultra supportive of whatever exercising things that I want to do. Like I used to go to morning Zumba and he used to be on board with that. So he would take the kids those days and all that kind of stuff. And so I have been very fortunate with that, with a spouse that is, I mean, for me time, he's been very, very supportive. And so I know not everybody has that. And again, we will talk about that more in day 4. But for today, think about what those things are that you would like to do and when you would do it. I know we're going to talk about the things when you say, "I don't have the time, Amy." Don't worry. We'll talk about it tomorrow. If you can't find the when yet, just find the what. What would you do? How much time would it take for those activities that you want to do? But for the rest of this challenge, you are going to make time for yourself because you deserve it. You need it. It's not a luxury. Commit to doing it. You told me you commit. This is something I'm telling you to do. You need to find the me time every single day. The third thing I'm going to tell you is you should have a community. We need to be able to talk things out, things that have come up for us that just irritate us or that we don't understand or that we just need to process. I actually have a friend that thinks a lot like my husband. And so when I get frustrated by things, it's really interesting to bounce things off of her because she explains things in a way that I don't think, right? And it just makes me understand the other person's perspective a lot better. It's also good to just let things out, right? When we bottle things in, that again does nobody any good. We need a community. I've said this before. I truly believe we were meant to be in community. That is how we were built. And so I would be honored if you chose me and my community here as your community. But it's okay if you don't. If you have a community that you can go to, friends that you can rely on, that's fantastic. You don't need to be in this one. But I truly, truly believe to the bottom of my heart that you need a community. Do not do this alone. Do not do this alone. Have a place where you can come honestly, be vulnerable, be heard, be seen, and journey with others. Be willing to listen to others, encourage others, support others. And you will see such a beautiful thing happen when we're all vulnerable with one another, able to share with one another, not feel like we're going to be judged, and be able to support one another and speak truth to one another. It is a fabulous, fabulous gift of relationship and love and care. So, like I said, tomorrow we're going to be building more on when you say you don't have time, how can you get yourself on board? Because I know you want to feel more joyful and peaceful. That's why you're here. That's why you're here. I want you to be open. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to be sending you more things. One is going to be a stop doing this checklist because I bet you moms, you can find time by stopping some of the things that you are doing that you don't need to be doing or that you're not being very efficient at. So hang on to that. But for today, I'm just going to recap really quick. Find one joy. Find one joy today and get in the practice of doing that every single day for the challenge. The other thing, find the things that you want to do for yourself that would make you happy, that would bring you enjoyment. Not your kid, not your spouse, not your mom, not your friend, you. What do you want to do in your spare time? And how long would it take? How long do you need each day? And the third thing, think of a community. Do you have a community? Community could be one person, two-person. I mean, more is better. More is better. But do you have a community where you feel like you can come honestly and be seen, be heard, and listen to others, encourage others? I want you to be honest about all these things with yourself because that's where it starts. You need this foundation to build on the next and the next. So I'm excited to break through those internal issues tomorrow a little bit more with you. So come prepared to be challenged and to let go of some things. But I'm excited for day 3. So let's do all the day 2 things. I want to hear about them, and then we'll see you tomorrow.